Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's that time again. We'll be reviewing Married at First Sight, season 14, episode 3. In this episode, we had the 2 remaining weddings and the rest of the wedding receptions for the couples. I will review my couples as I normally do, and we'll see how we go. It's a bit difficult to know where to start, but anyway, we'll start with Mark and Lindsay. Mark and Lindsay, well, we all know Lindsay was drunk from last week at the wedding and she was all over the place. You know, she is someone who speaks her mind, and even then I think Mark has picked up on it. And when he had a conversation with her family, her brother and her father, and they were telling him, you know, she is someone who has been through a lot, and I think he recognizes that, which is good. And they've sort of given him tips and advice on what he needs to do in order to make his relationship work. Lindsay spoke to Mark's friends because his mother couldn't come because she's unwell, and his grandmother is also unwell. So he did tell, you know, Lindsay's father that it seems he's an only child, and sadly he had a very small family, and so he's more or less on his own apart from caring for his mum and his grandma. And I think it was a bit more settled today than it was last week. Last week it seemed very erratic and all over the place with Lindsay, you know, having drunk a lot, consumed a lot of alcohol, and so loud and stuff. But I think they were more settled, and hopefully, I know from the promo there's going to be an incident, but hopefully if she can tone it down just a little bit, enough for Mark to know who Lindsay is, they should be fine. They seem to have great chemistry. She seemed comfortable around him. She seemed comfortable in kissing him. So hopefully they'll be able to have a successful marriage. They went to their room. They seemed comfortable. They went to bed. They seemed comfortable. So there really isn't much to say about them because we barely saw much of them. And then from there, we'll go to Michael and Jasmina. Michael and Jasmina, for me, are my favorite couple this season. I have to say, I didn't want to say it, but I have to say it because hopefully they do make it, because they have a lot of potential. Of all the weddings, in my opinion, theirs seemed like two people who had known each other for a while, two people who had planned their wedding, because they were very calm. Everything about them was very calm and very endearing. And Jasmina did speak to Michael's family, sisters. They did tell him about their past, about losing their parents. They gave her a pen. They welcomed her into the family, and she seemed very receptive. I think his sisters have been very welcoming, which is good, and I hope they continue to stay on the same page. And if she has any problems, hopefully she will be able to speak to them and they'll be able to give her advice on how to deal with their brother. Michael, for his part, sat down with Jasmina's mum and stepdad. And the stepdad, I didn't quite understand what he was saying. He was all over the place. But Jasmina's mum did sort of give him constructive advice on what to do, you know, about her daughter and how she likes to deal in certain situations. And for me, they seem very calm, very relaxed around each other, very comfortable. So I have high hopes for them. I really have high hopes for them. I think if all goes well, yes, they might have issues because most couples have issues, but I think if all goes well, they might be one of the most successful couples, sort of like, you know, Brianna and Vincent, Huda and Amani, Keith and Christina, or Anthony and Ashley. I think I see them going that way as long as they can iron out their issues and they're patient with one another. I see them having a lasting relationship because they were very comfortable even when they went to bed. They were cuddling. It wasn't more lust, it was more people getting to know each other, as compared to some of the other couples. Talking about last, Olujuwon and Katina, for me, I'm not sure. I think for them, I know Olujuwon has said he's worked on himself and he's more after a constructive relationship, something that will last a long time. But it doesn't come across that way because he appears sexually attracted to his wife. They appear to have chemistry, and he's all over her. And I wish he could take a couple of steps back and get to know his wife first before he bombards her with himself. I know he did tell Katina's mom that he does have ADHD. He's on medication, and so I think that's why he gets a bit hyperstimulated at times. But hopefully, Katina will be able to accept him for who he is and find common ground. And we did see a promo of them fighting. I hope it's nothing major. Katina herself, she seems comfortable. She seems relaxed. She seems to like Olajuwon. She had a conversation with his friends and brothers, and they seemed to get along. They got back to their room, and for me, I can see them as one of the first couples to consummate their marriage. Not to say that it's going to be successful, but I think if they're not careful, they're going to fall into the trap of couples on Married at First Sight who focus on the physical aspect of their relationship and don't get to know each other, and in the end up breaking up. So I really hope they take time to know one another. I really hope they work on, on building a more solid basis for their relationship. But we'll see how it goes. From there, we go on to Noi and Steve. For me, Noi and Steve are my second favorite couple this season, and I really hope nothing bad happens to them. I hope they have a successful relationship. Noi is like me. She's a hopeless romantic. She likes love. She likes people falling in love. And Steve seems very impressed with his wife. He seems attracted to her. I laughed when Noi's brother was trying to get to probe to see if Steve was maybe considering consummating his marriage, and he wouldn't give him the answer he wanted. And so Steve seems like a very open and very receptive guy. He accepted, Noi's tradition when she gave him the cloth that he put over his shoulder. His family seemed to be very accepting of Noi, and so even when they went to their room, they seemed very comfortable around each other. I know with most of the couples, if not themselves, the producers will always try and find something to I don't know this, to keep the audience entertained or to make the couple stand out, but something always happens, and it seems they are going to have an incident as well. But I hope they don't let them derail them. I liked the fact that Noi asked Steve about his employment and whether he had a job, and Steve was honest. Yeah, he told her about his previous job and what he had been doing. And for her, I like the fact that she said, well, it seems like he knows what he's doing and he's got a plan of getting himself out there and getting himself on the job market. So hopefully that shouldn't be an obstacle. I hope if anything else is an obstacle, it's not the issue of the job, because I don't think she's really focused on the job. I think for her, she's looking for someone who will love her, someone who will cherish her, someone who's there for her. And so they seem like there is a strong possibility that they could make it. Hopefully they'll continue to get to know each other and they won't be derailed by focusing on the sexual aspect of their relationship. From there, we go to someone. I never thought I would feel sorry for anyone more than Mark, but I actually feel sorry for Steve more than I do feel for Mark, because I think outside of the fact that Lindsay talks too much, at least she is a bit more compassionate and more accepting and more empathetic. Whereas Alyssa has gone on about teeth and teeth and teeth and teeth. And then as soon as she walked down the aisle, I think as soon as she saw Steve's, I think as soon as she saw her husband's teeth, it just derailed her, and she didn't focus on anything else, because I couldn't understand their issue. From the wedding, you could tell she wasn't into it. She saw Chris and she was completely put off, whether it was the teeth or whatever put her off. And I think from that moment, she was looking for an excuse to say no, or for an excuse to disconnect from him. Because they did say their vows. And when she said her vows, she was just rushing through them just for the... It seemed like she was going through the motions, not because she was emotionally invested, but she was going through the motions of whatever she was saying. And then from there, when they spoke to the family and she was asked, what did you think about him? At least she could have lied. At least she could have lied. At least she could have lied. And she comes up across as sort of standoffish, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what her problem is. And I really hope that Chris is not broken like Gil was last season. I really feel sorry for him, and I wish the experts had matched him with somebody else, because I don't think Alicia's ready for marriage. When they got to their hotel room, she then threw a fit, and she said she doesn't like someone who's controlling because of things that were said. I couldn't quite understand whether Chris is the one who said it or whether it was his friends. But still, that was no reason for her to throw so much of a tantrum and say, I don't want someone who brings me down, and I don't want this, and I don't want this. And it's just like, please, you've only met this man. It's been a couple of hours. Give him a bit of time, get to know him a bit better, and then make sure that you're making the right decision, or make sure that you're forming the right opinion about him. But I don't know. I don't see them lasting. I don't know. They might shock me. They might become a Jamie and Doug, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, everyone. Bye.